It's back again, another video, and in this video I'm going to show you guys the in-depth fabrication work on the 380SL LS swap. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so my LS swap, what I did to the car is probably like a passing grade, so don't take this as 100% correct advice, but use this as a guide, and make sure to use your best judgment. But this is best used as a guide, just to steer you in the right direction and stuff like that. So our first fabrication work was opening up the transmission tunnel. Yes, transmission tunnel. Had to use a lot of cutting, but basically you had to cut all the way to the heater box, all the way down to the little dimple place on the center console. So it's a pretty long cut. So get your plasma cutters and cutting wheel ready. Engine mounts. Make sure you guys use some good engine mounts. I used some tubular engine mounts I found for eBay for like 120 bucks. I recommend getting something like a beefier rubber insulators, like something like beefy rubber. If not, these ones I have right now works fine. But also another thing is make sure your welds are really good. Don't half-ass weld like I did on many attempts on my engine mounts. But luckily I practiced a little bit more on welding, and I did I got a passing grade on my welding part, but if it works, staying the engine fine and no problems whatsoever. Alright, number 3 is radiator mounts. You can use the OEM radiator from a car. However, I threw my radiator away, which I shouldn't. I should have sold it for like 20 bucks, $200, but I threw it away. So another tip is make sure to keep all the parts from your Mercedes and the donor car. Keep everything, because you never know what parts you need, and it will bite you in the butt later on. But anyway, so if you want to use a custom radiator, you have to basically cut out the entire radiator support brackets, cut out the upper radiator mount on the sides. It's like a little curve. Basically, I had to cut it open. Also, cut open the inside of the radiator support bracket. But you also need to make 3 custom mounts. One upper mount, which is basically a L, or basically like I'm not sure how to describe it, but basically this shape. And then on the bottom 2 brackets are basically L shape. It basically holds the radiator in. Also on the left side, I actually drilled a hole. So basically, it's like a little nipple on my radiator that you can fit through. And the radiator I used is a 3-row radiator for the LS1 Trans Am SS engine or car. And also it's a really good radiator. Come with the one big fan actually, and it's cooling the car really well. I'm average around like 212 degrees Fahrenheit on a very hot summer day. But if it's like right now like cold or chilly, I average around like 180 to 160. So it's keeping the car really cool. Also, another modification that I forgot to tell you guys is you have to modify the parking brake mechanism. You basically reverse the mounting bracket. So there's like 2 mounting brackets, one with 2 screws and one had to like cut up and re-weld. But basically you put it like, drop it down a couple inches in order for a drive shaft to fit. And there's a lot of cutting in the drive shaft tunnel, so I think the drive shaft fit. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But basically reverse the bring the parking brake mechanism down, and it will work. Just that you need to adjust it. I need to adjust mine, make sure it's more stiff, because it will catch at the very end of the pedal travel. So I need to make sure to adjust it, and to cut up the transmission tunnel and the drive shaft tunnel in order for both transmission and drive shaft to fit. There are some parts that are removed, like the upper shock absorbers from the original car. You basically don't need those. I just cut them out for extra room. There are a few things that you need to modify, but you will know as I go along and as you go along through the project. Also, one thing that discouraged me from this project was reading other people saying they had to replace the entire front suspension, do some crazy steering box fabrication, putting in rack and pinion, all that stuff. However, this LS swap keeps the OEM steering box, OEM subframe, and keeps the original suspension of a car. So all you're really fabricating is the engine mounts and grounding out some parts of your steering box and block. I'll get in depth more in that on a separate video. It will be how to LS swap 380SL Mercedes, and it would be space steering clearances. So steering clearances would be its own video because there's like tons to talk about the steering box. Clearances, steering components, make sure everything works and turn left and right and all that stuff. But basically, this is only for fabrication. But yeah, so it really discouraged me because it sounded like a lot of work and a lot of money. I mean, someone put like a Mustang 2 inside the car and put LS1, and I was like, dang, that's a lot of money. And someone actually fit in a V12 with these things, and he really, one way he fitted the V12 is he really like did some like crazy fabrication work on the original subframe, which is a lot of work. So it's up to you guys. If you want a V12, it's doable. A lot of work on the subframe. If you want to replace the subframe, put fresh suspension on, that's a lot of money. It's at least like $5 grand. But basically, my build is basically 120 bucks. Motor mounts, some grinding on the steering box and a block, and just welding motor mounts, and that's pretty much it. I just work around the space I have, and it steers really good. It's clearances really good. So that's it for fabrication work. Make sure you guys take your time. I put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this project, and I gotta say, a lot of work, but I finally got it done. So I wish the best of luck to you if you're doing LS or 305, 350, any engine swap. Any engine swap, I wish you guys good luck. So, oopsies. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.